So let's switch to our 70th anniversary of Impact Aid, which we were just talking about. So normally at this time, we would be getting ready for the meet and greet reception. And again, it's so disappointing that we're not getting ready for that, but it is lovely to see as many faces that I'm seeing on the Zoom. So this would be a time, if you're comfortable, to put yourself on video so that we can all be together as a community, as a NAFIS family, to support each other and to support Impact Aid. So again, encourage you to go on video at this time. So even though we can't have the meet and greet reception per se, we thought it would still be very important to have an opportunity for you to be with your colleagues, to learn some new things, and to get a better understanding of federally impacted school districts that are not yours or that maybe are very different than yours. And we also felt that there would be opportunity in a virtual environment to do this. And we very much believe that the key for the NAFIS family to remain strong and unified is knowing and valuing our colleagues, whether we are in person or virtually. So as we celebrate Impact Aid, let's start sharing. I would ask you in the chat to share something great that Impact Aid has brought to your district. We all know the important opportunities that your school district can offer thanks to Impact Aid and the kinds of things that can be offered to your students because of Impact Aid. NAFIS would love to be able to collect these ideas so we can share them back with the larger community, but also maybe you'll learn something new or get a great idea by reading it in the chat. So please share in the chat something that you've been able to do with your Impact Aid. And I'll review some of that later if you put that in the chat. So as we talk about Impact Aid, let's get started with a little history. We all know that Impact Aid was signed into law in 1950, and it looked a lot different than it does today. So here's some fun facts, or did you know? Impact Aid was enacted 2 weeks apart. There were two laws enacted 1 week apart. The first bill focused on construction, and the second bill focused on authorizing funding for operating costs for federally impacted school districts that were burdened with increased attendance as the result of federal activities. And that was in 1950. When the law was originally enacted, this is did you know too, only civilian students were eligible. It wasn't until 1955 and 1957 that military-connected children were starting to be counted. And in 1958, Indian land students were counted. In 1970, low-rent housing students were added to the law. And it's my understanding that they were added to broaden the political support of the program to ensure that congressional members from urban areas were supportive of Impact Aid as well. Another did you know, Impact Aid was the vehicle for which the Elementary Secondary Education Act of 1965 was passed. So ESEA was attached to the Impact Aid law for passage. And Impact Aid did not become a part of ESEA until 1994. Another did you know fun fact, 7002 federal properties, in order to be eligible, the property must have been removed from the tax roll after 1938. Why 1938? I think that's still a mystery. No one quite knows why the year 1938 was picked, but that's the year that's in law. So I'm seeing a lot of, my chat is going crazy. So this is terrific. Let's see if I can read a few of these before they pass by me. Freeman County School District 14, Wyoming Indian Schools. Oh, no, I don't know how to stop it. Are able to have nurses. Another one, Bob Raines, California, keep class size low. Bertie Roper out in Texas built a 500-seat auditorium. Facility upgrades, Karen Magara, student support facilities in STEM. I see Void in Montana, facility upgrades, building expansion, school construction. Amy Stella has enabled NB to continue a construction and renovation program. I see Chromebooks in a number of places, technology, one-to-one, reading interventionist, lots of technology. Continue to educate. We would be crushed without impact aid. So way to go, folks. Language immersion. That's something new. We don't always point out when we discuss impact aid. Wendell Menominee in Wisconsin, more Chromebooks, Wi-Fi hotspots. Staffing from Krista. And Cheryl in Arizona, addition to technology, meal distribution. And transportation and technology upgrades. And, you know, I would be a little remiss. I hope many of you are seeing in the NAFIS newsletters, we are devoting a section to the NAFIS family and the work that you have been doing since March, which very much started about feeding your students and now is continuing on how you are returning to school in the safest way possible for your individual context. So congratulations on that. And the NAFIS staff are watching that and again, very much reaffirming the work that we do on your behalf when we see everything that you're doing out in the field. So let's get ready to make our toast for impact aid. So I would encourage you to turn on your video, and Nicole is giving everybody permission to unmute yourself. So I hope you've all seen behind me our 70th anniversary, 70 and fabulous. So I hope I can find one that's for 80 and 85, and that even though we're all unmuted, let's try to be a little quiet. So I have 70th anniversary.
Yeah, this could be a problem.
We are. All right, let's do a quick. We're going to say 1, 2, 3, and then we're all going to say impact aid and raise your glass or your cup or whatever you've got. So 1, 2, 3, impact aid.
Impact aid.
Hey, impact aid. So again, if we were all together, we would, and I think Nicole is now going to mute all of us. Thank you, Nicole. So if we were all together in person, we would have a gala of some sort to recognize our 70 years. So instead of having a gala, we are going to try something a little new for us and for our Zoom meeting. We are going to send all attendees into breakout rooms where you're going to have the opportunity to talk about your individual districts and your communities. So we will be sending you randomly into a breakout room with about 8 other individuals. We have a few rules of the road. Identify a facilitator. We believe that there's enough type A personalities in our group that you could self-identify a facilitator, or whoever's birthday is the closest to today, that person can be volunteered as a facilitator. We ask that everybody has a chance to speak. We will be in our breakout sessions for 20 minutes, and then you will automatically come back to the big group where we can share out. We're asking folks to introduce themselves, and we will put in the chat what we are asking. So first, we will ask you to introduce yourselves, share your name, your title, your school district, kind of the usual, so everyone can get to know each other. And we would encourage you to learn a little bit about each other, maybe something that you've been doing special because of COVID, a show you've been binge watching, a hobby or a skill that you've gotten because of COVID, or maybe just, you know, anything else that you would like to share about yourself so we could all get to know you better in your group. And then we do have a question that we'd like you to talk about. which would be to discuss the biggest challenge your school district overcame during COVID. Again, we want to celebrate our successes. So talk about something that you overcame as a school district, as a community during COVID, and please put it in the chat box. Again, we would like to collect that information. We will be spending about 20 minutes in the breakout room. And then we'll come back to do a quick report out. And we will have these instructions that are on the slide that you see here will be in the chat room. So Nicole, if you could, and again, I encourage all of you to stay and participate, and then we will reconvene, do a short breakout, and Chad and I will close the session out for the day. So Nicole, we're ready. So Chad, are you back?
I am back.
Great. So
Well, number one, I got to report first, but we've confirmed it now. The Billy Goat is closing down. Have you heard that out in DC?
I don't know. That's not my thing. If Brian Gallup in Montana has information about the Billy Goat, I would trust his information.
Yeah, we were able to confirm that. I guess it's out on the website that they are closing down.
Oh. Well, that doesn't mean we can't not ever have an in-person conference. We'll have to find a new watering hole.
Right.
All right, so I see a bunch of things written on the side here. So NAFIS will collect this. I'm also cognizant of the time. So Chad, are you ready to wrap us up and get us off to our subgroup meetings?
Yeah, we probably had better get moving here. So in order to get it closed down, we look forward to seeing everyone back here at 1 o'clock Eastern tomorrow for day 2 of the conference. During the 1 o'clock session, we will hear from experts on special education, reviewing key policies, and exploring special education in the time of COVID-19. During the 3 p.m. Eastern session, you're going to hear from Impact Aid Program Office Director Fatima Muhammad and get tips on virtual advocacy. And then at 4:15, we will have state meetings so that you can prepare to go to Capitol Hill virtually on Wednesday. So at this point, those of you who will be participating in either the FLISA, MTLLS, or the NISA subgroup meetings can leave this meeting and join the next. The links were in the email that you received earlier today and are also on the conference app. If you're in MISA, you're actually done for the day, if you're in the military group. We hope all of you have had a great afternoon and evening, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone. We'll see ya. See you tomorrow.
Great. Bye, everybody. See you tomorrow, 1 Eastern.